my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
hey guys, welcome back to Actually Aubery. We're here today with Married at First Sight, season 16, Nashville. And this episode is called Poised for Battle. How you ladies doing? Oh, you look so good, Kimberly. Oh my gosh, I love your
Yes, she
hair.
does.
Thank you. Thank you. Doing well. How about y'all?
Oh, I'm
Hanging in
well.
there.
Say that.
Excited.
Oh, excited. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely excited. This was an interesting episode, ladies. I
Right.
mean, what did you think? If you had to rate it, uh Kimberly, what grade would you give it? What letter grade would you give it?
It was passing for sure. So I'll give it a B.
Okay, a B, a B. I'll give it
Mhm.
a B minus. And what about you, Roro?
I'm gonna give it a B plus because they had a few little you know unexpected moments there.
Mhm.
Okay, okay,
So
absolutely,
that made
absolutely.
it a little bit more exciting than it usually is.
And I think it's always with to me every season it is with math since I've been watching and following this show. It seems like every season this is when you really get to see the true couples who they really are. Is the
Mhm.
honeymoon is over. Now you've got to cook the dinners. You've got to clean the dirty underwear. You got to
Ooh,
live with the pets and the dogs and the cats and the whatever people are bringing with them. So now you really get to see the real person. Whereas before, again, you're on the honeymoon. There are no pets. There's no jobs. You don't have to cook. You got 100 people pampering you, cooking your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner, and you've got all these different excursion and things and activities to do. But now we're really getting ready to see what's really what with these people. And this is the first episode where we actually have the hey there everybody, welcome in. Hey Kirby, good to see you. Good to see you again. And so
okay.
now we're getting to just really see their personalities. And this is the first episode. What I was going to say is that we have professional help. Pastor Cal is stepping up, guys.
Okay.
Yes, he is. And he has a lot to say.
He has a lot to say. I think he came in. Kimberly, is it just me, or did he come on strong this first episode that he's in?
He did. He came on very strong, and it was good to see him. I always look forward to seeing the experts.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
he
Me
he
too.
did better than he usually does, as far as I'm concerned.
All
He
right.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to give him his props. I was thinking about that. I was like, I have to begrudgingly give Pastor Cal his props.
Look at you. Well, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and get started with one of those couples. Let me take this off the screen. And happy Sunday, as Monique is saying. Yes, absolutely. Happy Sunday. Don't forget. Please don't forget, guys. That really helps us. You're helping us in the algorithm. You're helping us stay alive as a channel. And you're helping us to grow. And of course, we have content creator Kimberly Reviews. Definitely go over and subscribe to her channel. She's all about travel, debt freedom, and also does wonderful reviews and live watches on Wednesday and on Friday evening. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. But we're going to go ahead and get started with these couples. And first of all, we're going to bring up the first couple that we're going to discuss, Nicole and Chris. Nicole and Christopher. Okay. Um, these guys, they're very interesting. They are very interesting. So we get to visit Chris's apartment, his home, and we see his bed, and he only does his laundry once a month, so I can't even imagine what that room must have smelled like with the two
Mm.
dogs, the dog shedding,
Yeah.
and he only does his laundry, guys, once a month. Okay, so that's interesting. uh what did you guys think when they visited Chris's abode? What did you make of that? Roro, I'm going to start with you first. What did you think?
I mean, his place is pretty nice. The two dogs are pretty big though for kind of a small place, and the fact that he
Hmm.
only does his laundry once a month with the dogs jumping on the bed and doing other things on the bed, you know. I
Shedding
was like,
hair, shedding
yeah,
hair, and all
shedding
kinds of things.
hair and
Mhm.
other things. It's like, okay, I don't know about that. If I were
Oh,
her.
were you referring to the one dog that we noted he was kind of doing? His wife Nicole said, "Oh, well, I don't have to worry about Chris now that I see what the dog is doing on the bed."
Oh yeah, yeah, like that was kind of weird. That
Getting
was
the
kind of weird. Like who looks at a dog and says that?
I know,
You
right?
know?
The dog for you guys, and if you haven't watched the episode yet, for the dog was having hot and heavy time with the pillow, one or two twisted pillows. Kimberly,
Exactly.
what were your thoughts, Kimberly?
It's funny because I was just thinking in my head that hot and heavy time with the pillow too. But just like Roro said, those were some big dogs, and they were just all over the
Yes.
bed, on the counter. But he did have it, pretty organized. So I was
Mhm.
impressed with that part. And then the dogs were very welcoming. I hear a
They
lot
were.
about that. People say something about like you can tell how a person is, like if their personality is good or if they're a good person overall, by how dogs welcome you, and they really welcome Nicole very well.
Mhm.
You know what? That's interesting because I was just thinking of last season with Justin and Alexis. So I don't know what will we make of Justin's dog and what happened. So I I don't know. But yeah, I
Yep, they're
guess
Justin's
no
dog is
longer
a
together.
gangster. Justin's dog is that's a female gangster dog.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. And how do you, Ellen B, welcome in? She's one of our members of the channel and also a moderator extraordinaire, as is Monique. And we thank you so much. As is our panelist, Roro is a
Hi,
member
Ellen.
extraordinaire. Hi,
Hi,
Ellen.
Ellen.
Yeah,
18 member.
I thought that was, to what you guys both are saying. I thought that was kind of interesting that she would liken her husband's skills, comparing them to watching the dog or the dog watching the husband. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but we do find out. So then we're going to move along. So now we see that Nicole and Chris meet up with Pastor Cal, and we find out very quickly that those two, Nicole and Chris, have now finally consummated their marriage.
Uh-oh.
So, guys, what do you think about that? Because, well, let me just tie these two things in together because I thought that was interesting. We found out they consummate the marriage. They're the first couple to admit. I don't believe they're the first couple to actually consummate necessarily, or that the only couple to consummate, but they're the only couple on air that has admitted they've consummated the marriage. They've had hot and heavy time, obviously. But what I thought was really interesting, and you guys tell me what your thoughts are about this, is that the husband Chris basically starts to talk to his wife Nicole and say, well, you know what, when this process is over after these 8 weeks, how about we just do a month to month, or how about we just sign up for a 9 month lease agreement with our respective apartments, and we'll just kind of date each other and this and that. Did I miss something, Kimberly? What was he trying to talk about? What was he saying, or did I misunderstand him?
No, you didn't. And it made me wonder if the breakdown about the dogs not being able to move, if that was him beginning to try to find a way out and it didn't work because Nicole just jumped right in and, came to his rescue. So now he's just like, look, lady, I'm trying to get rid of you in a nice way and it's not working.
You are the first reviewer that I've heard say that, because I'm beginning to think you continue on. You continue on and sharing your wisdom, because I think you're on to something, and I've got some things to say. But continue on.
I just
You think that maybe he's trying to get rid of this lady?
I think so. And then they had the hot and heavy time and this interesting timing. I don't know. It's interesting how things are
Mm,
turning around in this way. And they were all 100% in, no divorce. We're gonna make this work to now. Oh, let's just spend nights together. Hmm.
Mhm.
interesting.
See?
What are your thoughts, Roro? You got to get you in there. What are you thinking?
Well, obviously the hot and heavy time didn't work.
Mm, mm, mm.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it worked because, if they were so everything was going so well, they were going to say yes every day. He said yes. He would say yes on decision day, and then they had the hot and heavy time. That should have been like the icing on the cake.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
thinking. Yeah. Ooh, hot
because
and
look
heavy
look how
time.
look how emotional he got at the thought of not his dogs being separated, and now
Thank
this is
you.
his wife, and he's just ready now to sign another 9-month lease on the apartments just in case things don't work, just in case. I mean, something went awry there. Something went terribly left. Something turned left real hard there. Something's not right. So this is making me look at him with the side eye now.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm with you guys. I cannot believe if they've already consummated their marriage. It's something going on with Chris because this is a guy that, according to him, he has not had hot and heavy time in over a year and a half. And you mean to
Hmm.
tell me he finally gets to jump her bones, or they jump each other's bones, or whatever? Because she's also, if I'm remembering correctly from the beginning of the show, she also has been waiting and has been abstinent as well. But you
Hmm.
mean to tell me now they finally come together in a hot and heavy way as as grown people and married people do, and
Hmm.
the best he can come up with is that he wants to wait another 9 months to live together? I
Yes.
don't think so, sir.
Yeah.
You might be fooling some of the people, but you ain't fooling me.
But
Nope.
what's
And
I
really
Pastor,
bad what's
I'm
really
sorry. What?
bad is what's really bad is Nicole is not expressing to him how exactly how she truly feels.
No.
So it's like he's manipulating her and she's allowing it, and that's going to turn out really bad in the long run.
right.
Because she's holding back her true feelings and just going
Exactly.
along. She doesn't want to rock the boat, so to speak. So, I think that's going to be dangerous for her in the long run.
Now, I do
Hmm.
have a question to her now, to you guys about her. When you saw her, Pastor Cal, as he was talking to them and he was asking how close they were. Now, they were sitting on the couch very close. They were, I believe he was holding her hand. They were holding hands with one another.
Hmm.
But then he asked them, had they seen each other in these various times of when he says she's very intense. And he says, have you seen her? And she said yes. He said no. And then they rolled the footage of when the secret cam at night, I guess they were having a glass of wine or something, and she got the photo that the show producers picked, and she's waving the photo to the camera saying, this is the picture you picked. This is not attractive. This is not a good picture. What did you think of
Right.
that, Kimberly? What did you make out of that?
Well, let's rewind back to how they both said, "Oh, things are going so great," and in my mind, I'm like, "That's not true." It's like, are both of y'all in denial? And then
Mm-hmm.
when she said that no, I'm sorry, Chris said no, I haven't seen that side of her, and then she was like, "Oh, yes, you have." So how could he forget that? And then it was something so small because that's just what the camera captured. So why would you be upset that that's what the camera saw, and then that's the best picture probably that maybe she did take. We didn't see the other photos, but I'm upset that they didn't show that moment like early on so we could see that side because we've seen past casts who, oh, that was all we saw in the previews of them, flipping over tables or doing other things, but hers was
Hmm.
just a little glimpse of it. I guess just in like a little interview segment type thing. So I didn't like that part, but yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
knew that side of Nicole would come out soon.
Right, and to your point, both of you ladies, I want your comment on this. In the chat? B Love is saying that Chris may be intimidated by his wife.
Hmm. I can see
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
saw
she
that at
can't.
the convers.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Kimberly.
I saw that at the conversation about children, how he just You can tell that he really wants children, but she doesn't. And she took it over and said, "This is what's going to be. And maybe in a year, we can revisit and you'll be on my side." So I can see that he's intimidated because he was just like, okay.
Oh, you know what? I almost forgot about the children that they talked about discussing having children. And you know what? Now I have to give, because I was kind of going hard on Chris being, like, what's the problem? But she is overwhelming. And then you're right, because to me, it's two things: that if a person doesn't want children, and she's saying that she had considered not ever having children to him, she said that early on, I wouldn't want to be married to her either. I mean, because that's something you either want children or you don't. In my mind, it's either black or
Mm-hmm.
white. It's nothing
Mm-hmm.
in the middle. Because by the time you marry that person, now you're saying that this is a lifelong agreement, and somebody that wants children now can never plan on having children because this person doesn't want them. Okay, I forgot about that. Very good point, Kimberly. Robo, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you were gonna
So,
say about them.
yeah, I mean, I just think that, to me, it seems like both of them are kind of like not being totally honest about how they're truly feeling right now. So I think this is dispelling disaster in the long run. I mean, her little blow up, to me, that wasn't really a blow up. I thought she was joking, you know. And like Kimberly says, I mean, why are you getting angry because of the image that you portrayed? That's how she was looking, so it's not the person who took the picture's fault. That's how she was looking.
Well, I guess I did take it this way. That there are several pictures they must have taken, and she's saying maybe there was a better angle or a better picture. We do know, probably us ladies can agree, that her makeup wasn't on point the day that she got married, nor was her dress on point for her figure. It was not flattering in my estimation. What do you guys think? I'm just saying that. What do you guys think about
But
her
with the
makeup and
makeup,
her? Mhm.
didn't she get splashed with champagne? Like, didn't she say one of her bridesmaids opened the champagne in the bottle and it splattered all over
Yes.
her hair
Her
and her
makeup.
face? That's what was wrong with
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
her
is that?
makeup.
Oh, okay. Well, I
And
don't know, because I saw just those big, dark, dramatic eyes, and for me, that looked like that was. I could be wrong, but it looked like that was the way they made her eyes to look smoky, which I was like, who wears a smoky eye in the daytime? I don't know.
Mm.
mm,
I didn't like the dark eyes on her because it actually, with her thick brows, it just looked like one, a brow and an eye. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
nothing in between.
Yep.
She's a woman that probably needs to not wear dark shadow between her brow and her eye, because she's got dark eyes. She has a thick brow. It just didn't look good. And the thing that's going on here, you can see in her picture here, she
mhm.
has really huge arms, and unfortunately, that dress was not flattering to her. I think some kind of three-quarter length sleeve or something to take away the attention from her arms being as large as they are would have been very dainty and would have been much more appealing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
I could see them, just maybe what she was saying too was that that pose really wasn't, it wasn't symbolic of anything. They weren't in the middle of a kiss. They weren't, it really wasn't. I'm just saying, I'm thinking she's talking about the pose itself. I don't
Oh,
know.
I thought she was talking about the hair and the makeup because
Her hair,
you could.
makeup, her hair was fine. Like I said, I
Mhm.
think it was just the makeup that I had a problem with, and I don't know. Like you said, maybe if it was the champagne being splashed on her, that could have been a thing. So I don't know.
Mhm.
I didn't like, to be fair of both of them. I didn't like his tuxedo. I thought he looked like he was going to a prom.
Yeah, it do. It do look like from the 70s at that.
Yeah, it's just kind of dated. But I'm gonna go ahead and but B Love says she's got some really great comments here. Thank you, B Love. I love that she said that what Nicole did about regarding the dogs. Oh yeah. What did you guys think about that situation last week? She did a really great job, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. She did great. I just think she jumped in a little too fast, and she
Hmm.
should have let Chris handle the situation just to see, what he would have suggested as the man and the leader, of the house. But yeah, I think she handled it perfectly.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
she was very emotionally sensitive
Mm-hmm.
to him. She was comforting without falling apart herself. She empathized, but she didn't fall apart. And then we saw her in the next scene going right to work and figuring out a solution, which she contacted her father and worked out a solution that would make him more comfortable. But kind of like you said, the thing about her I see is that she's always leaving herself out. And Chris is, to me, I'm wondering if he's not like a gentle manipulator,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, when she saw him in that situation, though, to me, she wasn't really dealing with a responsible man. You know, she got a chance, even though she says she don't want to have children, she got a chance to, trials, because to me, she was dealing with a childlike person in that situation,
Yeah, he did go
so.
overboard with the crying. We're gonna move on though, guys. The next couple that we're gonna recap and talk about is oh gosh, you guys are gonna love this. Shaquille and Kirsten. What did you
Mhm.
guys think? Well, first of all, a lot of people are talking about Kirsten's her place, her apartment. Some are saying it's an Airbnb. I don't know. Kimberly, did you think that was an Airbnb, or is that really her place?
No, I think it's her place, and she kind of gave a little more insight on the after party, but I think it's hers. I'm a minimalist too. My mom got all her stuff in here that you see. She put all this decoration up for me. But before she came and did all this, like 2 or 3 years after I moved in, it was empty. I don't like a lot of stuff. I think I have like 5 pictures on the wall. I have one picture of me from 10 years ago when I was in college, and it was a picture that a friend gave me. But I don't like to
Uh-huh.
be dusting all that stuff. So I'm like Kirsten, I'm a minimalist too.
That's what I think. I really think, Shaq needs to check himself, because at the same time, while he likes his place cluttered with the sewing machine here
Mm-mm.
and this and that in every little corner and plenty of pictures up, I think everybody, like, so everybody has to stop and think that these people weren't raised the same way you were raised. Your wife is an entirely different person. Your husband is an entirely different person than you. They're going to have different tastes. And I didn't like it that he just like, oh, we need to do this. You need to have more pictures up. I didn't really care for that. Now, the one thing I did agree with him on, she could use a nightstand, because that whole
Yes.
having the phone charging in the bed, in case she hasn't heard, there have been a lot of fires.
Fire.
Yeah, so she
Yeah.
might want to, a nightstand would have been nice, and maybe just a chest if she didn't want a dresser, a full-on dresser, maybe just a chest or a console table underneath her, where her TV was apparently was attached to the wall, in her bedroom. But I
Hmm.
Yeah.
had no problem. I wish that I was when I see people that have minimalist apartments and homes, oftentimes if they have beautiful furniture and it's at a minimum, I think it's very beautiful to me, because I tend to keep things too. I have a problem parting with things, if you will, right?
Oh yeah. I
So
understand.
I just
Mhm.
felt like that was wrong of him. But the one thing that to me showed that it was lived in was her closet. What did you guys think of her
Right.
closet?
Well, that's what I
It,
felt like. It could have been that she had just moved in and then just threw everything in the closet, or, like you say, she's a minimalist. And when it comes to the closet, then it's a free for all, because she doesn't want to have everything out. Like Kimberly said, have everything out and have to worry about dusting it or
mm,
cleaning around it. And I'm talking big talk, but I'm sitting here looking at my place, and it's like I really don't have a lot of stuff out. I really don't. It's almost like hers,
And
mhm.
and
and
my
Kimberly,
closet is
what
like hers.
Kimberly, what did you think of the apartment closet that Kirsten had?
My apartment closet looks a hot mess just like hers. So
Exactly. I'm like,
it's
okay, what's the big deal, dude? You don't like
Yeah.
it when she has no stuff, and then when she has stuff in her
exactly.
closet, what? I don't know. Is Shaq just kind of strike back like in a passive aggressive way because this woman is not really seeming to be attracted to him physically? Is he trying to strike back at her with all these little nitpicky
Wow.
comments? I'm not really following his
Yeah, he have an
his stance on
attitude.
this.
I
Yeah,
think
I think
Possibly.
he's
I
got an
think he's
attitude.
I think
He,
he is starting to develop an attitude with her, because he can now begin to see that she really truly is not. And what did you guys think? So they're sitting there. Pastor Cal is talking to them as a couple. He comes in and they greet him and everything. They're sitting there talking, and she's got all these great things to say about his personality, and he's great at this and that and the other thing, and he's so organized and blah blah blah. But when Pastor Cal asked the question, do you guys have any chemistry? She just straight out says, not any. Like, and you should the look on Shaq's face. Shaq, you could tell he was just hurt all over again by that comment.
Yeah, he was shocked.
Hmm. Yeah.
He's in denial. I think he's been in somewhat denial about it because to him, the fact that she allows him to caress her, like she lays on him in the bed and lets him kiss her on the forehead, to him, those are affectionate moments, and he's taking it as if she's enjoying it. But from what we as viewers can see, at least what I can see, she's just tolerating it on camera so she doesn't
Hmm.
look bad. She doesn't come off as a villain. So she's not enjoying it. I don't think she's attracted to him at all. And hopefully they can make it to decision day without him really discovering that. Because I don't know how he would react, because
What
like you say, he's already starting to have an attitude.
what's to discover if she's telling the pastor that not any? She's saying not at all. Kimberly, what are your thoughts of what she said to the pastor and Shaq's reaction?
I
Monique,
just
you're the
think
best.
I think I think she's exaggerating. I think there is a little chemistry there. I wish Pastor Cal would have broken down what they got like he did for Dominique and McKinley, because there's a reason they put these two together, and she just cannot get over his age and this bald head. And I just wish that she would give it a try, and they may surprise us because we've seen this before. So they may surprise us and stay together for a period of time, and I guess we just have to stay tuned to see. But I'm not believing that there's no chemistry at all.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think there, and you know what? She has to maybe expand her view of what attraction is, because attraction can be emotional too, and
Mhm.
intellectual. Because I think she is beginning to see that there are lots of things about this guy, this gentleman, that she admires. Shaq is a
Hmm.
true scholar. You can tell by his vocabulary. You can tell by his conversation. Um, I think sometimes, though, now to what B Love was saying earlier, is that go back up into the comment and put it on the screen. Um, that Kirsten is a bit superficial, and I think her conversation kind of shows that she's a bit superficial, whereas her husband Shaq, I think he's much more of a deep thinker. So I wonder to
Hmm.
myself that even though physically, you could just tell he was so enamored with her on the wedding day. He loves the way she looks. He loves her shape. Her physical beauty is just outstanding. Some reviewers have said she's one of the most beautiful black women that's ever been on Mass. But
Wow.
the thing about it is, though, when you get past all of that, like my friend used to say, that and $1 won't buy you a cup of coffee. Me myself, conversation is everything to me. If a person has a boring conversation, I can't imagine myself spending a week with them, much less a lifetime.
Mm-mm. Same
Mhm.
here.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and
She
then
kind of,
then go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, she just seems a little wishy-washy. Say one thing and do another.
Yeah, she's kind of giving me a little bit of a Alexis vibes from San Diego season. Does anybody else see that? That maybe she's just kind of putting on the Ritz for the cameras with Shaq.
I
Well,
definitely
that's
see
what.
that.
Well, he told us that she was.
Oh
I can't
yeah,
wait.
that's
He
right.
did.
In the after party or whatever
Hmm.
show with Keisha Knight Pulliam. Yes. And what is
Hmm.
it? Monique King, Miss Misha's review made me stop. I was like, dang, blow up. And the phone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I was trying to figure out what that was. Yes. Oh, and B Love also says, I'm sorry, that was
Yes.
LMV. B Love says, I think he's attractive. Yeah, I think he is. He is attractive. He's very smart. Like I said, the conversation that he
Mhm.
gives out is very intellectual. He's a frat guy. She's a sorority sister. Now, what I want to ask you this. Yeah, Kirsten is gorgeous. I want to ask you guys this.
Yes.
Now, and I want to get both your opinion on it. Some viewers are saying that Kirsten actually should have been matched with Eris, and they think that would have made a good match. Tell me, just based on what we've seen thus far on these individuals, we'll start with Roro. Do you think that would have been a good match, and why, or why not?
Well, it would have been a good match if she could behave like a lady of the night, because that's what he says he needs.
Oh my. Yeah, he did. He did say that. Well, now,
So
how was she acting at that bachelorette party? Because she let that guy swing her around with his face all in her.
Yeah.
private areas.
Well, I think too, I'm just joking about that, but I think that she probably would have been a little more appealing to him because she's more mysterious. To me, Jasmine is just a little too easy.
Yeah,
She's just making
she's
it too
too
easy and
making it too
too,
easy for him.
yeah,
Absolutely.
acting like a pick me. So, is turning him off as it
Hmm.
would probably most guys, but I don't
Yeah.
know if she would, from what it seems like, she really wants somebody of Shaquille's caliber, as far as
Hmm.
his personality and his qualities, his background, and his standards. But um, I don't know if she would be attracted to him more than she would be to Shaquille.
He does have hair. He does
Oh,
have
that's right.
hair.
Yeah.
He does have
Yep.
hair.
He does
Okay.
have the
Yeah.
hair.
Okay. So that's just my opinion, but you
Okay, now
know.
Kimberly, same question to you. Do you think that that if they had been matched together, Kirsten and Eris, what do you think they're a good match? Yes or no, or give me your reasons why or why not, please.
No, I don't think they would be a good match. I think that she would be attracted to him more. Yes, I
Hmm.
think that's what she wants as far as looks. But like you all said, the personality, the professionalism, and just the overall status that Shaquille has is what Kirsten wants. But she wants it in Eris's body. That's what I think. She wants the hair, a little slimmer, and he's older. She would like that he's older because
Oh
Shaquille
yeah,
is
because he's
younger.
39, even though actually Eris doesn't look 39, but he is
Nope.
39. That's a good point.
Yep.
Okay.
He doesn't. So I don't think that she would like his personality though. It would just be a more of a looks and age thing.
Mm. And as
Mhm.
B Love says so eloquently, and she has the junk in the trunk that Eris has talked about that he likes.
Yep.
No, she
She's
got
got that
that.
bottom. She's got that
She
bottom that his currently that Jasmine doesn't have that big old bottom.
and the chest. She
Mhm.
has a nice shape all around the chest because Jasmine is flat. So
Ooh, no,
Jasmine
she did
just
call
simply
Jasmine flat. Oh Lord have mercy.
Oh
she
my
Okay.
doesn't have
goodness.
the front or the back, poor thing.
Oh my God, poor baby.
Bless her heart.
But
I thought she had a
it's
cute shape. I like her. I think she has an athletic body, but that's neither here nor
Mhm.
there. What is? Oh wait a minute.
okay.
What's
Don't say
Monique? Let me
that
get.
word.
Let's get Monique. Yeah, let's get Monique's comment. Monique says Kirsten and Eris. Yes. Yeah, that's what I said, Monique. To you, you're right. So Monique is saying that Kirsten likes a roughneck undercover, and Shaq and what is this? You saying Shaq and Jasmine would not work? Yeah, no, I definitely. That's a good point to talk about too. No, they couldn't work because Jasmine. We've not heard her mention what her pedigree is academically. If she may have an associate, she may have a bachelor's, but we've not heard her really talk about it. She's into that pageant world, and I don't think that even though Shaq wanted a beautiful black queen, I don't think that he wanted someone that was also very well educated. And I think he likes the fact that his wife Kirsten is a sorority sister, right? He likes
Right.
that,
Mhm.
So, what do you think about that, Kimberly? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And it's good that someone pointed out Kirsten's size because it is true. That's what Eris wanted because he even called Gina slim or smaller. And I'm like, Gina
Oh,
is not small.
yeah, he said she has he was basically when her husband Clint was going on about her, he said, "Oh, she's beautiful. She's a baddie," or I'm putting it paraphrasing it, but yeah, so it's clear that he likes a woman with more more substantial,
Shape.
more
Yeah.
shape. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep, yep.
More to
Mm-hmm.
offer.
Oh my lord. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. On the show when they get the couples together, I bet he is probably checking out Kirsten. I bet he
Mm-hmm.
is. I
Mhm.
bet he is. But now whether Kirsten would be checking him out, that's a thing. Because I agree with you, B Love, that I think secretly I saw when the things that she was talking about, like if you recall going back, she was saying that she wanted this man that loves God. And then in her next breath, before she could get that out good, she was saying he's got to have 8, 9 inches. I was like, okay. So for me, it wasn't the fact that she wanted that, but for me to say that to the camera, it told me something about her. She probably does like a little bit of a rough neck. That's what it told me. That's what it suggested to me. I'm just saying that's my opinion. But for our next couple, we're gonna move on and we're gonna cover this couple right here. And that's going to be speaking of Eris and Jasmine. We see in this show we see that Eris accompanies Jasmine to her parents' home because she's staying there as she's making this transition right now. She's at her parents' home, and the home looks very lovely. It's obviously a sprawling ranch of sorts. They're in the Nashville area, maybe in the suburbs. And he's excited because when he gets in, the first thing he sees is this a display of her and all the many various pageant titles that she's won, along with the pictures and along with the tiaras. And he's teasing her, and he's saying, "You know what? You should have a little bit more attitude to have won all these titles. You should be a little more stuck up and sedity." And she laughs it off. What did you make of that, Kimberly? What did you make of that scene?
I liked it. Eris gave her her flowers. He gave her the claps that we haven't seen since the wedding again. So he was
Yes.
really complimenting her and showering her, which was due because, like she said, she had already reached the highest level in the pageant world, and that is very impressive. And I was just like, "Go, Black Girl Magic!" So I
Yes.
was
Yes.
so happy that they showcased that part and let us see it because she has been putting in work, and I'm glad that Eris complimented her because we had not seen that really, I don't think, since the wedding outside of the conversations they have that are forced, maybe like with Pastor Cal or something. So to just see him
Mhm.
open up and compliment
Yeah.
her was just so nice. I like that.
Because who
Yeah.
is Eris generally complimenting when we see him himself?
Himself and
Himself. Himself.
It's all about Eris. Feed me
Yep.
grapes, rub my
Yep.
feet. It's all
Make
about
me
me. I'm
feel
the
like a
king.
king.
Make me
Yeah.
feel like a
stop
king.
eating
There you go.
bacon.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's the only thing he's really said to Jasmine. Pretty much is, "Are you eating any more bacon?"
Right. 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 Yeah.
Ro, what were your
Yeah.
thoughts as they entered her parents' house, and what were your thoughts about how his reaction?
Well, it was a relief to see him do that. I was like, well, at least she got a little tidbit of, attention, affection from him because, he
Yes.
had been not doing it at all. So I was happy to see that as well. So hopefully it'll continue.
Yes, yes. He showed that he can think sometimes about somebody outside of himself because I don't know if they're just it's the editing and maybe they're trying to give him a villain edit, but so
Mm.
far what we've seen of him, I'm beginning to think he's very self-centered. And we know that he's an only child. I happen to be an only child, so I got an idea of how that works. But I don't. I like to give other people their, as
Mhm.
Kimberly said, I like to give people their flowers, their compliments. I have no problem sharing the spotlight or putting the spotlight. Let it be on somebody else. But Eris, he doesn't quite seem to have that same kind of balance. At least the edit that he's getting thus far. So I think we're going to find out more of his personality as this couple continues to live together. Now, what did you guys think when they fast forward to them, Eris and Jasmine with Pastor Cal? What did you think, Kimberly, about this scene with Pastor Cal and what they talked about?
I think it was good. Looks like Eris is really looking for a wife, and it seems that he's looking for the better qualities. Someone who could be there for him, someone who could run the house if he dies. He said it himself. If something happened to him, he feel like she would take very good care of the children and be a good role model. So those were great things to look for in a spouse. And looks like he's found what he. I think what he said he found what he needs. They gave him what
Yes.
he needs, not so much of what he wants, but a lot of times we need to go with what we need. And it looks like he got it. So I'm glad that he's able to point out those things versus just being stuck on looks.
Yeah. But is
Right,
he
right.
mature enough? Is he
That
mature enough to really, realize that
Go
he needs
ahead,
to go with
Kimberly.
what he wants?
Shake your head for me too. Shake your head for me too. Yes, that's me
No,
right there.
he's
You see that?
not.
That's me. That's me. My
No.
head is going, nope. Yeah, he's not. He's not. We see
So
that he's not. He's 39 years old, but he's basically got a 39-year-old body, but he's basically got like a maybe a 17, 16-year-old mindset is what I've been getting from him thus far. There's nothing about Eris that says anything that he's mature, that says that he's devoted or dedicated to one woman. I don't think he's ever even been in a committed relationship. We know that he's never been in love. So I don't understand why experts every year pick people who say that they've never been in love. I think if you've never been in love, there may be the fact that you don't have the capacity to love. That might be something people might want to
Mm,
consider,
Right.
that you're
Right.
emotionally unavailable.
And he
And
seems to be that way.
mhm.
wow.
Yeah.
You
That's what
know.
I'm getting out of poor old Eris. I think that well, if they're kissing cousins, maybe he and his kissing cousin Fallon should just hook up and just ride off into the sunset. Because I got the sneaking suspicion, Eris, don't make me come and get you, but you better not hurt my girl Jasmine, because she's
Right.
a real sweetie.
Yeah,
She's a
but
real sweetie. Go
she
ahead.
is, and I'm confused with Jasmine because
Hmm.
she sat right there and told Pastor Cal that she is not Eris's type. She knows that she's not his type, but then she
Hmm.
turns around and say, "But that's what makes me like him even more. The fact that he's so honest. What are you liking? I don't understand what she's liking. Because
Right.
everything that he's told her has been something that he dislikes about her or something negative.
Right.
He hasn't given her anything to really hold on to, you
You
know.
know what?
Nope.
That's interesting. It's like she has a weird attachment style. It's almost like, if you think about it, like I'm just thinking about it as you were speaking, and thank you for that. That's an excellent point, Roro. It's
Mhm.
almost like Nicole liking a man that told her that if you love me, you allow me to do this, and I'm not going to say it on the air, what the not her husband, but a previous boyfriend,
Right.
basically harming her, and she
Right.
allowed
Hmm.
him to. So it's almost like Jasmine's got this kind of same mindset, that the more they dislike her or unattracted to her, she feels like she's going to work. Maybe she feels like she can work harder to achieve that, but that's not the case. Typically, a man really is either interested in you from the moment he meets you, physically
Right.
speaking, or not. I mean, you're just not going to
Right.
change that portion of it. Now, the emotional part and the conversational part, those things will add to it or take away from it, but you're not going to change the fact that physically he doesn't find you attractive.
Right. Right.
He
And
No.
can we take a minute to talk about how he just jumped right in and loved on the pets? I was not expecting that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, talk about it. Talk about it. Go ahead. What were your
Yeah.
observations on that? Because that was
So
interesting.
yeah, so I thought he was gonna come in there and like not want to hold the pet or whatever, but he just picked up that dog and he was like, "Oh my God, it's so pretty!" And he was just rubbing the little puppy, and I was like, "Huh? Where did this come from?" But it looks like he's gonna be okay with their 13 pets.
Yep. He said he would let the dog sleep in the bed with him.
Yes,
Now that was
yes,
the
Remember?
he
thing.
said
He was
that.
attracted to the puppy, the smallest one, and which was real. All the little puppies were cute. The older
They
Hmm.
dog, the,
were.
the mother of those puppies was cute too, but for him that was just too big. So,
Hmm.
it seems like he'd be the kind of man that would like children, but maybe not like the baby mama. He'd
Oh,
like his. I'm just saying. I mean, because, and I think that for him, because think about it again, like Roro agreed with me. I think this man is just emotionally unavailable. I
Yeah,
think
he
hmm,
is.
he's got a lot of work ahead of him to do, because and I'm gonna go backtrack. All this stuff we saw at his apartment, at his home, was his father's obituary. That medallion that he wears around his neck. I was wondering what that was. That's a picture of his dad. Everything
hmm,
is
Hmm.
about his dad, who passed away over 20 years ago. And I'm not saying that you can't be connected to your parents or someone you love deeply, but there is a thing, such a thing as grieving and moving forward while still carrying your loved one in your heart. And I don't see that
hmm.
he's been able to really do that. It's just like, what's really going on. Thank you,
He
Kimberly. Yeah,
he
guys,
probably
check
needs
those
some
thumbs up. If
counseling.
you haven't thumbs up the video, please thumbs it up now. I'm sorry, Robert, what were you saying?
Yeah, he probably needs some counseling, some grief
Yes.
counseling, along with some other kind of counseling. But yeah, he probably needs some professional counseling so he can deal with that and move on. Move on
Yes.
as an
Right.
adult and be responsible as an adult because he has very childlike mannerisms, very
Very,
childlike. And
very.
it seems as though his mother, perhaps, and the people in his family have coddled him and continue to spoil him and allow him to be okay with acting like that. They haven't let him know that he has to, you got to
Hmm.
grow up. You got to grow up
Yeah.
and stop behaving like a child. you're a man now. He's almost 40 years old, right? So
Yeah, and he said his
he
mother still does his laundry. I'm like, what?
I
Are
wish.
you kidding me? When you went off to college, before you went off, you trying to tell me you didn't know how to wash your own drawers? Are you kidding me?
Mm.
Oh my lord. Well, and drawers will lead us right into this couple here, Clint and
Wow.
Gina. I'm sorry, I couldn't find a better way to segue into that. We needed to move on. Ah, but Clint and Gina, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. What to say, where to even start with Clint and Gina. Well, let's start here. Gina opens up their segment and she is telling well, first we see, let's see. Okay, her apartment. She has a beautiful, I got to give girl credit where credit is due. Beautiful, fabulous apartment with a
Mhm.
almost like a 180 view of the skyline of Nashville. I mean, she's high up. She's living in the same luxury complex that Clint lives in, right? And we
Mhm.
see her things are very organized. I mean, now Kirsten would have been impressed. I mean, not Kirsten. I'm sorry. Shaq would have been impressed by her apartment because it was, while it was neat and organized, it also had personality, right? She
Mhm.
Right.
had she had things on her wall. She had the, as Kimberly talked about, she had the knickknacks and the bric-a-bracs, but just not to an
Mm.
overwhelming,
Mhm.
amount. Beautiful apartment, her closet was organized too. And it looked like Clint was very appreciative of that. He liked her style, and it seems like he felt like he would be comfortable there. They live in the same building, so that the format probably of the apartments are very similar. But
Mhm.
then when we get to them talking to Pastor Cal, she has basically decided that she doesn't want to move into the apartment with Clint because she feels like to be further away is to love each other even more.
Mm,
Kimberly?
well, mm,
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry. Okay, go ahead, Kimberly. Okay.
I just think she's exaggerating. I think that she is not into him once she found out, just the previous comments and the fact that they had already ran into each other on the elevator or wherever at their apartment. But yeah, her apartment was beautiful. I have to say that two things I love is mirrors and windows. And oh my
Mm,
goodness, she has the best view ever. And I can't
yes.
wait to see if Clint has the same view, or because sometimes at these places they have different views. And
Oh
so I can't
yeah.
wait to see if he has a good view like her as well there. But I don't know. I just don't think Gina is willing to keep working at this relationship. Something happened and it just turned her off. And it just seemed like she's shutting down to me.
She's shutting down. What do you think that it is that happened? What do you think happened? Do you think she's still stuck on what he said about the kind of women he typically dated were slender, athletic build? Because I think that she's still holding on to that.
me too.
I don't know.
I
Me
think
too.
so, but it shouldn't because she attacked his looks as well. And if you're secure, like that would not have bothered me. I'm not slender, probably came out the womb not slender, and it does not bother me at all. And I would still try to work things out, but it's just, is he
Yes.
attracted to her? He just said what he usually dates. He didn't say he was not attracted to her. So that's a did not. If he said he wasn't attracted to her, that would be different. But he
Right.
didn't say that.
Well, she's obviously very sensitive about her weight.
Yes.
Because that's the only reason that she could have taken it that way when he said that. That she's very sensitive. Obviously, maybe she's lost a lot of weight or you know something because
Yes.
to me again she's another one that's confusing because she says she's slender. She says she has a 26-inch waist.
Where?
So
Where?
well,
Where?
she said it, but I
I've
mean,
got my
so
microscope out, my magnifying glass. Where there? I'm looking at this picture. There is nowhere that she has a. Maybe when she was 12 years old, she had a 26 inches. She's going back
exactly.
because she
Yeah,
doesn't have
so
it now.
yeah, so it's like, which one is it? Are you slender and 26-inch waist, or are you offended because he said he dated slender and athletic women? So I think that whatever it is that she had the gall way back in the beginning to tell him that he's gingery and she's not usually attracted to gingery features. whatever happened right before then is whatever it is that's, took her on the downfall. And then for him to say what he said in reaction to it, just, just close the game for her. She's done. I think she's done. She just can't get over it.
Right, right. Very good point. B Love is saying in the chat, she's saying that Gina worked hard to lose this weight, and so she's taking offense to it. I agree. She is taking offense to it, but I think she should let her take her emotions out of it. Maybe while she's 35, at least she says she's 35. I think Gina might have a little bit of a lying problem because she's telling us she's 35. I'm not seeing 35 on that face or the body. I'm not seeing
Me
that, but I could
either.
be wrong. I'm thinking she's more like 40, closer to 40, 39 or so, 38, 39. And Clint, who says he's 40, I think he might be a little older too. But um anyway, but
Mhm.
don't take offense to it when this guy could possibly be your mate, because everything that Clint is saying and showing is that he's willing to work hard for this marriage. And to your point, Kimberly,
Yep.
you're right. He did not say that he was unattracted to his wife. He seems to be attracted to her.
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm. Yes, he
Right,
does.
right, right. Be love. She's definitely not slender. She is curvaceous, and
Mhm.
apparently he's okay with that. And a lot of men think that's very sexy. She looks good here on
Right.
this picture in her gown. She looked very good at the wedding.
Yep.
Um, I don't know why she wants to keep making an issue of it, but she seems to be a person that seems very rigid and very stuck in her convictions. Like this is what it is, and it's not going to be anything different. She doesn't change. I want
Yeah,
to talk about
delusional.
delusional is the word. Yes, I want to talk about something though, guys, and I want to get your opinion about this, panelists. Um, a lot of people from the beginning of this season, season 16, Nashville, have been comparing Clint to last season, San Diego's Mitch. Do you think that Clint is very similar in his demeanor as a Mitch? I want to see what you guys have to say. Kimberly, you shaking your head.
No,
No.
no, 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 no. Do not compare my Clinty Poo to Mitch. No, Mitch was just very rude and nasty in more ways
Yes.
than one. And he was just flip floppy. Clint to me has not flip flop.
No,
He only apologized because everyone pressured him to apologize for the
right.
comments. And then Clint is very nice, more laid back. He isn't critiquing her. Mitch was very he criticized his wife so much, and it was like there wasn't anything that she could do. But Clint is not like that at all. And I did hear someone say or give that comparison, and I don't agree at all.
I don't either. I don't either. I think maybe someone maybe thought that because he's outspoken. Remember, like he's sort of
Mm-hmm.
like the outspoken one when the group gets together, when the men get together. They all kind of just let him kind of take lead, and he'll just say, whatever comes to mind. But I don't think he is, uh, mean like Mitch was. Mitch was mean.
and
Right.
You
and
know,
dirty. Don't forget dirty.
dirty. Yes.
Right.
Ooh, nasty, nasty, dirty. Ugh.
I holler.
That bathtub.
And
Oh,
his
let's.
feet. Don't forget how dirty
Oh.
his feet were. And also Mitch was he had this very obsessive thing. And I say obsessive because there's one thing to be an environmentalist, but it's another thing to make other people change their whole lifestyle. The only thing he
Right.
should have been doing was talking about it, promoting it, encouraging people, but not making his wife change her whole life because he was an environmentalist. Um, I don't
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
don't see Clint being like that. Now, to their point about the comparing them, yes, like what you said, Roro. Uh, Clint is very outspoken and opinionated like Mitch, but I think he's got a far more sophisticated and softer approach in how he says things. Because, like we pointed out, he just said that he typically dated women that were slender. He never said that Gina was fat. He never said that she was not attractive to him. He never said that, And when you hear her on this show talking about the things that he said, you're listening to her, and if you remember what he said exactly verbatim or close to it, you realize that she's telling herself stories in her head because he never said
Hmm.
any of those things.
Hmm.
And the women, you're right, the other wives had no reason to be upset with Clint about what he said because he was talking about his preferences. And
Exactly.
Hmm.
So
whether you're heavy or not, why get upset with him? Go ahead, Roro. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it just to me showed that they all were sensitive about their weight, maybe except for Jasmine. I don't understand why she got so upset, you know, because she was not in that category,
Oh yeah, I
that
don't.
they had in
Jasmine is
their head.
athletic. Jasmine is
Yes.
athletic. I kept saying to myself, why are all the women? But you know who seen now when I think back, you know who was the ringleader of the indignation? I think that was Nicole. If you guys remember,
It
Nicole was
was.
she was especially indignant, and I was thinking to myself, well, not all of you guys are curvy because there's Jasmine right there, and she's definitely athletic. Do you see her doing those back double flips and whatnot? She has
Mm-hmm.
definitely got an athletic
Mhm.
body. She's not big. She's not heavy. She's not even curvaceous. She's a slender, athletic woman to what Clint was saying he's attracted to. B
Right.
Love, B Love says that yeah, he has tact. And then
Mm-hmm.
here's the other
Yes.
thing that we're seeing if you're really paying attention. Clint said this week, he said, you know what? He said he told in front of Pastor Cal, he said, you know what? I'm committed to being in this marriage. I'm willing to do the work. We said, and
Mm-hmm.
he was talking to his wife to get her to kind of think about what she was trying to do by not coming into the apartment. He said, we said that we were going to stick with this, and I'm still here giving it my all. And he seemed very sincere. Now, if he was lying, if he was acting, he needs an Academy Award or an Oscar because he was great. He was great in
Yeah.
getting me to believe because I think he's really there for the right reason. I think he spent his days, he's sown his oats, and now he wants to settle in with a wife. So Gina, I don't know, did she come here just to promote her salon? What is really going on with her?
That's what it seems like. I mean, maybe if Clint allows her to, fix his hair in the salon, maybe that will change her mind about staying in the marriage because that's
Yeah,
all she
yeah,
talks about.
yeah, maybe she'll dye his hair brown and his beard brown so she won't see any more ginger.
You
She
know,
She
just
better
cracks
not.
me up. I just have this. I wake up to this nightmare of her saying gingery features. I don't
with
like
those,
gingery features. And I'm like, girl,
yes,
you over enunciating gingery
And
features.
her mouth.
Right.
her lips all crooked
Those
and
huge teeth and the
yeah,
lips with the injections in them, and she's talking about natural body. Girl, bye. You are
yeah,
lying to us, Ginger, Gina. Quit lying to us about how natural you are because there's nothing natural about you at all. Nothing.
nothing
You're
at
not
all.
35. I promise you, you're not 35. Don't.
Mm-mm.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Monique said her lips. I hollered.
Lips
I
flapping. Yeah,
hollered.
you're right. They are. They do look like they're flapping, like they would blow in the wind. Like, they do look like they would blow in the
Ooh, when she
wind.
sees herself on TV, she's gonna get herself a new plastic surgeon.
She needs to. I'm telling you. Those lips that.
B Love said Daffy Duck.
Yeah, that's what I just thought about.
Oh no.
Oh, Lord have
Oh my
mercy, have
God, that's too
mercy.
much. That's too much. This
And
baby
last
forget.
and last but not least, we got to say we say the last these people for last. Guys, this is right here. And I don't want to start by giving it away what I believe is going on. But this couple right here, where do we start? The week before we were at McKinley's room in his friend's parents' basement. Not his friend's house, but his friend's parents' house basement. Okay. Now, a lot of reviewers. So now I've got a very unpopular opinion. So if you don't like to hear opinions that vary from most of the bloggers and most of the YouTubers out there about Married at First Sight and this couple, go ahead and click off now because I'm going to say it. This is my opinion. It's not fact, but this is my opinion. I would
Allegedly.
not want allegedly, right? I would not want a man that has to live in his friend's parents' basement. You moved to town. You said you wanted a wife. You signed up for this program, this process, and you wanted a wife. But you expect for me to do what after the 8 weeks are over? Move in with you in your friend's parents' basement? Kimberly,
I mean, whew,
Kimberly. What
Mm-mm.
are you in agreement with this? Would you want to move in to Matt McKinley's friend's parents' basement after 8 weeks?
If I would have met McKinley anywhere on the street and heard that, I would have missed out on a rich guy because I do not date men who live with anybody. I need you to have your own place. I need to see if you can pay the bills. How do you
Yes.
handle when this breaks or when the AC stops working? He doesn't
Hmm.
have any of that experience, and she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know if the house is going to be tore down, if he's going to keep the maintenance up or anything, because his friends have to handle all of that. And my other issue is a lot of people were saying he didn't want to commit to a lease because he didn't know if he was going to stay there. So why marry a girl who lives there? Because how do you know that she's automatically going to want to get up and move to California? You don't
Exactly.
know.
Or Michigan, because his mom asked her that question, and I feel like that's where he's going to move back to, and that's not fair to her. I mean, if this something in a typical situation where you're dating and a guy's from Michigan, you've been dating for 2 years, a year and a half, six
Mhm.
months, whatever, and he's from Michigan, and he says, "I'm moving back to Michigan." But in this situation where you marry him at first sight, now you're telling me all of a sudden I got to go back to Michigan with you because that's where your cannabis business is?
Mhm.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, no, sir. You're chasing the cameras because we've already heard the story. Most of you that are here, I'm assuming you've heard the story that Mac also applied for Married at First Sight to be a castmate on the San Diego when he was in California, and then he
Right.
chased the show down to Tennessee. So you're giving me vibes
Ah,
that you really want to be an actor because you think
Yep.
you're cute and you are attractive. You want to be an actor, sir. Why don't you just go into acting? How about that? How about you skip the getting married part and just be an
Yep.
actor?
Yep. I mean, I got suspicious when his mother asked her that as well, because that started making me think that McKinley wasn't planning on staying in Nashville. And then for him to, insinuate that she wouldn't feel comfortable moving in, to me, that was insinuating that he was expecting her to move into the basement with him. And that didn't make sense to me, because why would you say that knowing that she has her own place? Why would she move out of her own apartment into a room in a basement in your friend's parents' house?
and their
So
furniture, and it's even there. It's not even his furniture.
exactly. So that's like you don't plan to stay there. It's almost as if he has every intention of moving back and moving her back with him to Michigan or wherever his business is.
Hmm.
I didn't remember that part, that his business is in Michigan. I
Oh, you're
thought,
right. It may be in California because that is a great spot
No,
for
I don't know.
cannabis.
I just picked a
I don't know.
state. I really
Right,
don't
right,
know.
right. Well, we know he's from Michigan. He's from Flint, Michigan. In fact, he was living in California, where in both states. I guess I'm just looking at it in either state, because here in Michigan, marijuana is now legal, and out in California, marijuana is legal. In fact, I think
oh, okay.
California was the first state where it was legalized in the United States.
Oh, well.
So, but go ahead.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so that, to me, that just makes me very suspicious of McKinley, like his ulterior motives. What are they? Because he definitely
Mhm.
has some, you know,
Yeah.
and even though she nitpicked, I'm with her 100% on this one. At least at almost 40 years old, it doesn't make sense for a person to say, I'm going to go and live somewhere, but
Yeah.
and not put down roots, and then I'm going to go and get married
Right.
at the
Right.
same time. you know
Right.
Something's wrong with that. Math is not mathing. Okay. It's just not. Something's
the
not
math
adding up.
the math math is not mathing, and the MAFS maths is not maths either.
It's definitely
They ought to be
not.
ashamed.
So
And I'm gonna put this up on the screen because I want to talk about this for just a second. I have contended for as long as I've been watching this show, Married at First Sight, that the ladies of color, the women of color, the black and the Hispanic women are often given men who are unestablished and do not have roots and not a substantial man to be marrying. How are you almost 40 years old and you're not sure if you're going to continue to do your cannabis business, or you're not sure if you want to be an actor, you're not sure of anything, and you're living in your friend's parents' basement? I'm sorry. That screams Dusty. I'm sorry.
yeah, big
Dusty, put your
time
mask
Dusty.
on, lady.
Yeah, big time
Yeah, there
Dusty.
you
Get the
go.
dustpan out. Get the broom out. You need to start sweeping, because he is a big time Dusty. And we have head of the Dusties that says it's okay. What's the big deal that he doesn't have his own place? Now I was fine with Pastor Cal for this episode until he said that,
Yeah, he's
like,
good. He's good for passing along a Dusty, i.e., Gil, and some other ones. He's
ooh,
he's good for passing along. Well, okay, because Pastor Cal. Speaking of Pastor Cal, I wrote this down. These are his exact words. Well, he ain't broke. He ain't broke. But what does
He
that
said
mean?
that.
Because yeah, Pastor Cal said he ain't broke. He used,
he did.
he used the English. He broke grammatical, English, correct English to point out a fact. He ain't broke. Well, now I can give him credit because I kind of see who I believe this guy uh Matt is. I think that Matt is this guy. He comes from a well-to-do, affluent home. Let's say, looking at his mother, judging by her and the alleged $50,000 that she offered her son to bow out of maths and not do this show. She offered him
Mhm,
this $50,000, I guess, maybe to pay off the fine that he would have incurred for saying he was going to do it and then backing out at the last minute. So he
mhm,
comes from probably a family of means. I understand from the matchmaking episode that he has two siblings and they're both college graduates. He decided not to graduate college, which meant that that opportunity was available to him probably via his parents, so they have money, right? But you
Right.
decide not to, but instead to go into the cannabis business and then to chase the cameras all around the country so you can be on this reality TV show. He's not broke, but here's the problem though. He's not stable either.
Right.
oh, he's
He can
very
always get
unstable.
money from his parents to pay this month's rent or this month's bill, but who wants to be married to a man who has to always go to mommy and daddy to get money for the bills?
Right, I know.
No.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
who's running his business, and where is the business? I just need for them to be a little bit more transparent about these people's where they work, their jobs, and how their livelihood. Because just for Pastor Cal to say he ain't broke, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, then how is he not broke? Tell me how. Show me how. Because
Show
she
me.
has her own
Mhm.
apartment
Right,
and she has her own job.
right.
So he's the one that's like a vagabond right now, you
hmm
know.
And that's
So
a good word for it because we've heard that before. That word vagabond with Stephen Noy, right?
mhm,
Right.
From an
mhm.
earlier season of Married at First Sight. Um, well, you know what? Our very own beloved Monique says she'll take Mac off Dom's immature little hands. You go ahead, girl. I've been saying that the black woman needs to date more men outside of our race. So
For sure.
I can agree with you on that part of it. And dating is fine, but just maybe for marriage, just find out a little more information about him. And here's the thing that's to me so easy and so obvious. Matt could make everybody, including his wife, a lot more comfortable with him and his situation if he would only explain what's really going on. I mean, if you want to be
Right.
an actor and that's part of it, but you also do have a successful cannabis business, tell her.
Hmm.
But there's nothing that we've seen from editing that we've seen unless it's been edited out, that she knows where his money is coming from. Oh, and talk about this, Kimberly. What did you think? Okay, so that we see Mac and Dominique in the car after they're leaving her place, and they're talking about these dogs. So he has these dogs that he loves so much. We don't know how many. We just hear that it's got an S on it, so that means more than one, right? But
Hmm.
nobody has seen these dogs. So talk to me about what were your thoughts when you hear him talking about how much he loves his dogs?
Yeah, it was surprising to me because, like you said, we've seen, I think, pretty much everyone else's pet, but we haven't seen his pet yet. And where would they be? Like, did he just leave them, like you said, chasing the show or whatever? And then what is his plan in the future if they do stick it out? Because we all know that anything could, happen and it could turn and they could stay together. Is he going to continue to run and leave the pet? So if you love them so much, why aren't they close by? Probably because the people who he lives with won't allow it. So
Exactly.
Yes, we
ah,
haven't even
it's a
seen a picture
mess.
of the dogs. At least we saw a picture of somebody's dog. We haven't even seen a picture of his dogs. And if he loved them so much, then we would have heard about them sooner than now. I think now all of a
Right.
sudden, he's upset because she hasn't asked him about his dogs. You know, was
Right.
he
Right.
talking about the dogs before? Did he let her know beforehand, before now, about his dogs and how much he really loves them and misses them? So I think he's just, pulling at straws now just to get
Yes.
back at her,
I think
because
so
he's
too.
so offended. And I can see why he would be so offended. I mean, she is kind of immature for expecting him to want to do all these adventurous things that she wants to do. you know um that's just as unrealistic. I mean, even on the
Right.
honeymoon, at some point you need to relax. That's what, to me, vacations is about. You At some point
Oh,
you
Mhm.
just need to relax, sit on the beach,
yes.
enjoy the
Yes.
sun, let the put your feet in the water or something, not just go out and everything got to be, we got to go do this, go do that, go do this, and never have time to relax.
Right.
So
Excellent
yeah, she's a
point.
little immature about that. So if that's what she really needed in a man, then yeah, they did her wrong. And if he needed somebody that was going to be a little more stable, then they did him wrong. So at this point, I'm with both of them. They're both done. They both just want a refund.
Do you think? Okay, guys, here's a question for you guys to consider. Excellent, excellent points. So many things you said there. I'm trying to capitalize on them because you brought out some points that I wanted to talk about. But one thing
Yes.
I want to veer from very quickly, on a side note, because I meant to ask
Hmm.
this for these other couples, but we've already passed them. So we're gonna focus in on it with this couple right quick. Do you think these guys have consummated their marriage and had hot and heavy time? Mac and Dominique.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
one. All right, Roro.
yeah, yeah. I think they did, and they didn't like it. Neither one of them.
Mm.
Mhm. I
Okay, so
just
that's
think they were.
three. That's three of us. Because I was gonna say, yeah, I agree. I believe that during the honeymoon, these two were hot and heavy,
Yes.
and I think they consummated. But apparently, it wasn't what either of them were looking for, or maybe more specifically, it wasn't what Dom was looking for.
He wasn't adventurous
Mm.
enough.
Ooh. Oh, in and out of the bedroom. Hey, I heard that now. Some things you got to be able to do, guys. If you want to hang out, you got to be able to do all the tricks and whatever. Okay.
Thank
Hmm.
you. Yeah, they were a
You
little
know,
too close and on top of each other in that pool not to have done something.
yes, yes. And then I think
Hmm.
about Dominique, and I think about, if you guys go back to the bachelorette party, she was flirting with the guy who was also Caucasian, that was a dancer, was a stripper,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
And she was really actually flirting with him. And so I know it's, to me, it's not that she's not attracted to McKinley because of his color, regardless of what her mother says and thinks about, race being an issue. I don't think that race is
That's
an
so
issue
weird.
between these. Yeah,
Mhm.
sorry, Roro.
I'm just saying that's so weird coming from her mother, but go ahead.
I know, because she's biracial and apparently her father is Caucasian, and also mom's new husband is Caucasian. So yeah, that's a whole nother thing for another day. But
Hmm.
to your point, I feel like, yeah, I definitely feel like these two definitely have consummated and probably have done it more than once. And maybe for Dominique, maybe there was something for her she felt that was lacking. I'm gonna ask you guys to consider, this is a whole nother thing too. Have you guys noticed how every time we see McKinley in a scene, almost every single time, he has a glass of some alcoholic beverage in his hand?
Mm.
Yeah, and he looks
No.
flushed. His face, to me, his face
Yes.
looks flushed.
Yes.
As if he's upset, or something has been going on. To make him look like that. Like, he's turning red. I'm sorry, I couldn't think
Mm.
of a more
Yeah.
graceful way to put that.
No, he does. He does. He does. But that's also a sign sometimes of a heavy drinker too, though.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
also a
I
yeah.
sign.
missed that.
And one of the things that also goes along with, for the males that are heavy drinkers, if they've been a heavy drinker for a long time, one of the things that can happen is, because I'll tell you, this is a true story. I met a guy, and I was in my early 20s and he was in his mid 20s, and he was a
Hmm.
heavy drinker, and when it came time for the hot and heavy time, he was unable to, you know
Mm.
so
Yeah,
I just
that's really
wonder. I
sad.
just I just wonder. I just wonder, because there are some things that go hand in hand together, some medical conditions and some heavy drinking that can cause a man to have less effective hot and heavy time. I'm just gonna call it that. Hot and
Right.
heavy time. but but to your point, you were saying some things about McKinley and and his wife, Dominique. What were you saying specifically about her that maybe uh adventurous? Say that again, Roro, for me.
Well, he wasn't adventurous enough. She's looking for a man that wants to just go this place and go, let's do that and let's have fun and let's do that. Obviously, it's something that she really wants to do. Um, I don't think that she's probably had that many expensive type adventures like what they did on the honeymoon, and I think she
Ah,
wants more of
yes.
that, and she wants a man that's willing to provide those adventures or maybe sponsor those types of adventures with her. But
Mm,
he's a little bit too settled. He's a little bit too settled for her, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what she claims she asked for. And Pastor Cal says that she didn't really be honest on the application, and neither did he, because he was saying that he doesn't mind doing things every once in a while, but it seems like they were just badly matched, just poorly matched based on what they thought they asked for.
And
yeah.
So
it's because the mother did the application. So he's dating the mother through her, basically.
yes, yes,
You
yes.
know
She
what?
asked,
I've been
she got
wondering
what her
about.
mother wanted.
I've been wondering about that. I've been wondering, is he actually dating the mother's preferences and not the daughter's? And then the daughter's got to kind of calm down because, like he said, like the horseback riding or the things that they did on the honeymoon. And to your point, Roro, those are things that you do maybe once a year, twice a year.
Hmm.
You go spend all this money to do to experience these things, but for everyday life with
Hmm.
working all these hours, because she obviously has a full-time job. I don't know what Mac does exactly, but let's assume he works 10, 12 hours on his cannabis business. Let's assume that he's an entrepreneur. They have him tagged as an entrepreneur, and that sometimes
Hmm.
is the busiest job, is working for yourself. So
Hmm.
do you think that you're going to go horseback riding every week? No.
Right, right. So,
He actually is adventurous, because if you think about it, for whatever reason he applied for this show, that shows some form of adventurism to me.
Right.
yeah, definitely. That's special. That's a special quality.
That's a special
So,
quality, absolutely. But guys, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think so? We left off at the end of this episode. We left off with Dominique saying, what were her words? She said, I'm over it. She
I'm
told
over it.
Pastor Cal, I'm over it. Pastor Cal responded to her, I don't understand. What do you mean? Over what? Over the argument, over the marriage. What do you think, starting with you, Kimberly? What do you think she's going to say when we come back?
I just need her to call her mama. Mama, help this girl realize this is the man you chose for her. And she needs to just stick it out. I hope she's going to say that she's still willing to give it a try, but she needs to get mama on the line and let mama know exactly what's going on so she can reel her back in.
As my daughter likes to say, get Mama Dukes, call Mama Dukes on the line, get her on the line and
So she
ask
can reel
her,
her back in.
reel her
Oh
This is
my
back
my
in,
son in
goodness.
law. This is
Oh
it.
wow, my son calls me Mama Dukes. My son's called me Mama Dukes. Wow, isn't that
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
Well,
it's like one of those
yeah,
generational things. But go ahead, Roro.
yeah.
You
She
gonna say, what
needs
do you
some
think?
help. She needs
Hmm.
some help. Sounds like she's over the marriage, because she was ready for a refund when Pastor Cal came through the doors. You remember she told him you got a lot of explaining to
You got
do.
a lot. And what was that, rude of her or what? I couldn't believe she talked to someone as highly esteemed as Pastor Cal. How she talked to him as if he were just like one in her age bracket, like a just somebody on the streets or something. Like, I thought that was
Yeah,
really kind of rude, and it's part of her problem. I think she is
yeah.
kind of rude.
She was fired up though. Remember, she said that Mac had just been on a rant right
Yes.
before he
Oh,
came over.
okay, yeah, she
Mac
did.
had just been on a rant complaining about everything. So, they were both kind of lit when he came in the door, especially Mac,
Mhm.
because like you said, he had a big old glass of wine or something in that
Yes, he
glass.
did all the time. But that's not just this
Hmm.
this episode. If you watch him, I'm telling you guys, you're gonna owe me $1 if you bet against me. I bet you a
Hmm.
dollar that the next time we see Matt, he's gonna have a glass of something alcoholic in his hand. He's drinking wine. He's drinking cognac. I don't whatever folks like him drink. He's drinking it. Okay,
Mhm.
Hmm. That's
because
true.
he seems to be quite a heavy drinker. That's the other thing I've noticed. I don't think that Monique has a very good point. Monique King, you know what they did say before Pastor Cal came in, that the two of them had not been together for 3 days. She did not move into the apartment, or she moved in and moved out, because remember in the
Mm-hmm.
scene, the producer is asking her, so now you're really gonna actually move all these things back out? Do you remember
And
that?
she's,
Yep,
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 she
I
said,
remember
yep,
that.
she had her boxes.
Because
Yes,
he
I.
asked her if the bag was coming into
Mhm.
the bedroom, and she said, "I'm not feeling that right now."
Yeah.
Mm,
I
so
think I think it's another case of, we've got a few of these Alyssas on the show. They're just showing up slightly different. They're not busy saying I'm a good person, but I see Alyssa in Gina. Gina, I call her, I've written it before in
Oh.
somebody's chat. I put Alyssa equals, and then I put Gina. Because Gina's that gal. Gina's that gal. I think Kirsten is almost that gal, but she's just trying not to look bad on TV. So she's trying to stick it
Mm-hmm.
out. And
hmm
this girl right here, Dominique, unfortunately, they may have matched her. You're right, Roro. They may have mismatched her for whatever reason, because maybe her mom filled out the application. Mac tends to
hmm
be a little bit of a liar. He says that he's ridden a horse since he was a little kid. Then he came out and said, "Oh no, I've never ridden a horse." So he's a bit of a liar too. So for
hmm
all these different reasons, but all that in spite of it, you never know. Maybe the stars might have aligned, and we have seen some good marriages come out of MASH. Yeah, it's been a few
Mm-hmm.
years, but you got Woody and Amani. You've got Jepti and Shawnee's. Well, some people could argue that. I'm not going to even say Katina and Elijah Wan.
Yeah.
Kimberly, can you think of some of the couples that are still together from this show, from this experiment?
What was it? The Oak Teas? I forgot their
Yeah,
name.
Greg and
Yes.
his wife.
Uh, that
Mm,
just had
okay.
the baby maybe a year or so ago.
Yeah, Greg and his
Oh, and
Um,
wife.
Brianna,
yep.
and Vince, uh,
Mm-hmm.
Karen and Miles. We're not so sure about them, if they're still together. And a lot of what's the lady who used to host the after party at first?
I don't
That was
remember her
married.
name.
I can't
Yeah, I
think
know
of
what
her
you're
name
talking about.
either. I think they were the first season, and she actually thought her husband was ugly. She cried that she thought he was
Mm-hmm.
so unattractive. And then later, as she fell in love with how much he loved her and how caring he was, I I,
Exactly.
I don't know if
And
they
and
could.
and yeah,
Shaq and Kirsten. Go ahead, Roro.
the couple that went to California, the Caucasian couple that went to California.
Oh yes, I was just watching
What
them on
happened to
couples
them?
couch. Elizabeth,
Elizabeth,
Beth
hmm
and
Oh
Doug.
yeah.
Is
the
it
bald
Doug?
headed guy.
Was it Doug?
Mm-hmm.
Doug.
No, no, Doug is married to somebody. There's a Doug. There is a successful couple. Doug is with another woman, but I don't. Is it Doug? Maybe it is. I don't think it's Doug. Beth and
Yeah, I
somebody.
just
Oh, I
wonder what
can't think
happened
of
to
their
them because
name.
in the I really didn't care that much for them in the beginning, but they kind of grew on
They
me.
grew on me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you talking about
hmm
Beth, right? The one that the
Yes.
Caucasian
hmm
sex couple.
hmm Because it just seemed as though she was just looking for a sugar daddy. She was just looking
She's
for,
very spoiled. She's definitely
yeah.
very spoiled, because you remember she
She
came
made it.
from a lot of money too. She came from a very
Mm-hmm.
wealthy father. Her father was, you could
Really?
tell he was dripping. Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
think we're talking
absolutely.
about different people.
So you're not talking about Beth with the red hair that had the attitude with her husband. You're not talking about Beth.
No, not that one. No, I'm talking about the one that
Oh,
came from
oh,
somewhere in Georgia. There, her family wasn't well off at all, and she
oh.
was
Okay.
determined that she was not going to work. She was
Oh, you
determined.
are you talking about from the first season, the one who was the host for the after party? That lady or
No,
no?
not her. I'm talking about the other girl.
Oh,
She and her husband moved. Her husband was a bald guy,
huh.
and he's
Guys,
well off.
drop it
He's
in the
well
chat.
off.
Let me see what you guys are saying. With
Yes, I
Deanna
think
and
they know who I'm
Greg.
talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. She's talking about a
I
Caucasian
think her
couple.
name is Beth. Her name is Beth,
Her name is.
but I forget his name. I thought it was Doug.
Is he bald headed?
He's bald. Yes,
That's
he's
the couple
bald.
I'm talking about. Her
And
dad. Her
they fought all the time in the
yes,
beginning.
yes.
They
That's the
fought
couple.
all the time, but I didn't think that, oh, well,
Is that
I
Jamie? Yeah, Elizabeth and
Jamie.
Jamie. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Beth and Jamie.
right.
Yes.
Well, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Beth
Monique.
and
Thank you,
yes, but
Monique. Beth
she.
and Jamie.
Her dad. I'm telling you, her dad has money. If you go back and watch
Yep.
that season, her dad was. Yeah, her dad. Her dad is money bag. So yeah, she wanted a man
Really?
with money because
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Because they showed
Oh,
where they showed where she was living with her mother, and it didn't look like
We might
that
we'll
much.
talk off the air. We're gonna wrap this
Oh,
up.
okay.
Okay, we'll talk off
Okay.
the air.
Cool.
Kimberly, tell them where they can find you and tell them what you do on your channel, please.
Oh yes, so you all can find me on YouTube, Kimberly Reviews, also on Instagram and Facebook, Kimberly Reviews. I love to watch the show live on Wednesday and Friday nights. So we watch Ready to Love on Friday nights, Married at First Sight Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I also love to talk about my travel. I enjoy traveling almost monthly and being debt free. So, debt freedom is very important to me. So, come on over to my channel and check it out. And that's where I am. Thank you so much for this opportunity, as always.
Oh my goodness, I'm so busy. I'm trying to find your yeah, I know. We're talking about, she says we're talking about the same people, but it's not. I have to talk to Roro because who she's describing and who I'm thinking of. I don't know who mama she was living with, but I know her daddy, the person I'm talking about, their daddy was loaded. So, but
Oh, okay.
definitely follow no, 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 yeah. But definitely follow Kimberly Reviews on her channel at Kimberly Reviews right here on YouTube. She's an awesome content creator, and as
Yes,
she
she
said, she
is.
talks about a lot of wonderful things. I want to thank you, Kimberly, so much for being here. I want to thank our A team member, Roro, especially for being here today and giving us of her time and her note taking and
Yes.
adding so
My
much
pleasure.
nuance. Thank you so much. Nuances, various nuances to this panel, and I look forward to us going back to our original time next week of 4:30 p.m. on Sundays, and then of course we'll be doing recapping Ready to Love, which this week was a 100th episode, so there was nothing to recap, but it was a wonderful celebration of love and
Yes.
ups and downs and even the seasons
Mhm.
that I missed. So that was very wonderful. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank a special thanks to our moderators extraordinaire. That would be Monique King and LMV. And you
Yay.
guys can find my A team subscription here. Please join the membership. And I look forward to seeing you guys here all again on next week. Guys, say goodbye.
Bye, guys. We
Bye.
love you all.
Take care.
Take care now. Bye.